Hello, my dear students. How are you doing? I know that you are not doing very well because of the confinement for the pandemic situation all over the world. Actually, I have also been confined within the four walls for a long time, so I know it very well how difficult it is for one to remain in the confinement. Because of the outbreak of COVID 19, all the educational institutions in our country have remained closed for a long time. So your study has been seriously affected. So you shouldn't idle away your time anymore because just after the pandemic situation, anytime your exam schedule may be announced, then you will not have enough time to take the full preparation for sitting for the exam. My dear students, in order to make up the loss in your progress of studies, I'm going to conduct a virtual class on a very important topic, that is completing sentences. Completing sentences is such a kind of question that is set in the question paper for the students of class 9, 10, even 11 and 12. In case of completing sentences, my dear students, you are at full liberty to write down the answer you like, but you have to remember that the meaning of the sentences should be consistent. If the sentence is meaningless, your answer will not be accepted. In case of completing sentences, you have to follow certain rules. My dear students, I don't want to prolong my speech anymore. Let's move to the learning session. My dear students, the students of class 9 and 10 will find this question completing sentences in their question paper against question number 7. Today, I am going to teach you several rules. Let's see the first one. At first, I would like to teach you the use of to and to. My dear students, this to is an adverb. It means accessibly, sufficiently, adequately. In Bengali, it means eto beshi. Accessibly, in Bengali, eto beshi. My dear students, you have to always remember that in between this to and infinitive to, if there remains an adjective, then this question will give you a negative meaning. And according to the negative meaning, you have to write down the answer. Let's see an example, because I believe an example is very much helpful for anyone to understand a thing better. The example is very familiar. He is too weak to. My dear students, you can see this is the question pattern. You will find this type of question in your question paper. So let's see how to answer to this question. He is too weak means he is very much weak. He is excessively weak. It will give a negative meaning that the subject of the sentence is unable to do a certain action, to do something because of being excessively weak. Whatever you will have to do is to write down only the action verb that this subject is unable to do because of being too much or excessively weak. So I'm going to write down the structure here. After this infinitive to, you will write down only the base form, I mean the verb in the present form. That will do. So, he is too weak means the man is very much weak to do something. For example, he is very much weak to walk, to move, to speak, to talk, to eat, to run, to do any kind of things. So you will only put down the very action verb that the subject here is unable to do. So we can suppose he is too weak to walk. So here you will write down walk as the answer. Now I am going to give you some other examples. The lady is too old to dot dot dot. My dear students, you have to complete the rest of the sentences. The lady is too old means the lady is excessively old, very old, and she can't do something. Whatever she can't do, we will write down only the action verb in the present form here. I can say the lady is too old to speak. So I will write down here only speak. This is the way to answer this type of questions. For your exercise at home, I am going to write down some more questions you will try to practice at home. The boy is too short to. The poem is too difficult to. So that's all for this 2 and 2. We'll move to the next question. My dear students, now I'm going to teach you the use of so that. Whenever so is followed by that, it will mean the purpose, the objective, and the motive. In Bengali, the meaning of so that is jate or uddeshya. After the so that, you will have to write down the purpose or objective of the subject. Let's see an example. He goes to mosque so that. This is the question pattern. He goes to mosque so that. It means the very subject goes to the mosque for an objective. You have to write down the very objective following a certain rule. So I'm going to write down the rule or structure for this sentence. You will follow it. The structure is subject can put V1 object. So my dear students, you can definitely understand very well. A man goes to the mosque for what? the objective is to offer the prayer. So you will write down the objective following this rule. So the man, he goes to mosque so that he can. We will choose can between these two words because here the subject is followed by a verb in the present form. If the subject is followed by a verb in the past form, you will select could, or you will choose could to write down in the answer. B1 we have choose here. Prayer. This is the way to answer this question. Let's see another example. We read books so that my dear students, we read books. What is the objective of reading books? Actually, we read books to gain knowledge. So we will write down the objective here following this rule. First of all, we will write down the subject here. The subject is we. Since it is in the present form, so I will write down can. Now I will write down the main verb in the present form. The main verb is gain. Object is knowledge. So this is the way to answer this question. I am going to give you another example. He came here so that. My dear students, just read this sentence, not a full sentence. This is the question. He came here. What is the objective of his coming here? Suppose he came here to take some money from me. So I will write down the objective. But you have to remember that this subject is followed by a verb in the past tense. So this time in the answer you have to use could. He came here so that subject he, since it is in the past form, so we will choose could. He could. The main verb take some money. I hope you have already understood how to answer to this question. Now I'm going to give you a question for you to practice on your own. We need to eat good foods so that. So my dear students, you will try to answer this question on your own. My dear students, now I'm going to write down the use of another important question, that is the use of it is high time. I think all of you have already known the answer to this question. It is a very easy question. but it's very important. Actually, the meaning of it is high time is this is the perfect time, this is the most suitable time to do any action, to do any work. But it has a certain rule. It is a high time. After that, you will have to write down the answer following a certain rule, that is subject plus V2 plus object. Following this structure, you have to answer to this question. Let's see an example. It is high time. It is high time for what? To start our study, to start our journey, to change our bad habits. We can write down any answer, but we will follow this structure. It is high time we start is in the present form, so according to the rule we have to use the verb in the present form. So we will write down we started our journey. So it means that this is the most suitable time for us to start our journey. So whenever you will find this question, it is high time, you will follow this rule that after it is high time, the main verb will be always in past form. If you find it very difficult to remember the rules, then you will memorize this answer. It will do for this type of question. Okay, my dear students, that's all for today. I have already discussed several rules. I think you will practice all these rules sitting at your own home. Never go out. If you are to go out for an emergency reason, you must put on hand gloves and mask, and try to drink much water and try to stay safe. All the best.